got to understand something about America.
Okay.
Whenever black folks move to anything that's positive, they're going to find a way to make you feel bad about it. So now for being woke, what the fuck is, Doc, explain to me what is so negative about being woke.
There's nothing.
That's right. But they'll come back and talk about they will gaslight you for quote being woke. Well, you can turn on all the gas you want to, but I need to be woke. I've been asleep
Right.
too long.
Right. So
now with the murder of George Floyd,
yes,
this is what America saw. First of all, you saw the largest protest in the history of this country.
Right.
There was not a state in these 50 United States that did not have a movement to protest what happened to George Floyd.
Right.
That's one thing. But then when they started seeing these Confederate monuments come down, that's when they got inside their feelings about some stuff.
Right.
And they decided, okay, we need to start stopping this whole history thing, because if they didn't understand the Confederate monuments, nobody would have been taking them down. But now let's just stop and think for a minute, Doc. Now, you're out in California, so I'm not sure that you all have as many Confederate monuments there as, say, I would see here in the state of Virginia or from my home state of Mississippi.
Yeah. We probably got them, but we probably don't see them as readily in the immediate city of Los Angeles. I'll say it that way. But you go out to some of these, we got places.
All right. Well, places here is everywhere. You drive down through the heart of Alexandria, and you're going to pass Confederate monuments. You try to go from Virginia to D.C., you got to go down Jefferson Davis Highway. They're everywhere here. Everywhere. Every emphasis on everywhere.
Okay.
So these monuments started coming down, right? And then there became a debate in some people's mind. You know, Southerners wanted to say, well, this is my heritage, this is my culture, this has nothing to do with the institution of slavery. And then black folks saying, no, it had every damn thing to do with the institution of slavery. Everything.
Absolutely.
You had both sides arguing. And so what I'm trying to say to folks is, you don't have to argue these issues. History is pretty clear about what was the Civil War fought over. So that becomes the question. Why was the Civil War fought? And so because there's not been scholarship to our experience, we'll sit there, and when they say, well, it was fought over states' rights. Yeah, that's what it was fought over. Yeah, the right of the southern states to own us, to work us for free. That's what states' rights mean. So clearly, and I want to be as clearly as I can. In the state, if you look at the letters of secession, and I'm not going to get too deep into this history, not into this particular history lesson, but if you just go and look at the letter of secession from the state of Mississippi, my state, my home state, in 1861, between January 7th and January 26th, they put together, the great fathers of the state of Mississippi got together, and they drafted and ultimately published this letter of secession. This letter stating very clearly, here is why the great state of Mississippi is divorcing itself from the United States. This is why we're leaving the Union. And the letter says this.
They can hear.
In this momentous step, which our state has taken of dissolving its connection with the government of which we so long formed a part, it suggests that we should declare the prominent reasons which have induced our course. The next paragraph says this, Doc. Our position is thoroughly identified with the institution of slavery, the greatest material interest of the world. Its labor supplies the product of which constitutes by far the largest, most important portions of commerce on the earth. These products are peculiar to the climate virgin on the tropical regions, and by the imperious laws of nature, none but the black race can bear exposure to the tropical sun. Now, Doc.
Why dare you laugh, Dr. Mack? Why dare you laugh?
I'm going to tell you why I'm laughing, because white folks can be funny. I mean, they listen, because I'm laughing because I'm the man on the street and I'm going to interpret what they just said to you.
Okay.
What the folks in Mississippi said this. Let me be very clear about why we left the Union. We leave in the Union to protect slavery. And you must understand that because of slavery, we can now harvest the most valuable product in the world today, and that's cotton. But I got to tell you something about this cotton. In Mississippi, it's hot. We got tropical hot, kind of hot down here. But God is a good God, and God made the black man to come down here and pick this cotton. In layman's terms, that's what they just said.
Right.
So not only did Mississippi say that, but if you go and read the letters of the vice president of the Confederacy, a man named Alexander Stephens, Alexander Stephens tells you very clearly why we are fighting the Civil War. And he says this in this speech. For those of you who may be interested in history, I want you to look up the Cornerstone speech, March of 1861, the Cornerstone speech by Alexander Stephens. Alexander Stephens was the vice president of the Confederacy. Now, the reason he called it a cornerstone is because in any foundation, the cornerstone is the most solid part of the foundation. So what Alexander Stephens said, the cornerstone of the Confederacy was the institution of slavery. He says this. He says, in particular, our new government, he's talking about the government of the Confederacy. He said, our new government is founded upon exactly the opposite ideas. Its foundations are laid. Its cornerstone rests upon the great truth that the Negro is not equal to the white man, that slavery, subordination to the superior race is his natural and normal condition. And this, our new government, the government of the Confederacy, is the first in the history of the world based upon its great physical, philosophical, and moral truth. See, when white folks want to sit here and tell me that the Confederate flag represents their heritage, I have to remind them of what Alexander Stephens said. And then they look at me, Doc, and they say, Alexander who? Right. This is what we have to do. We must get inside of our history, not just to understand, again, to understand from the standpoint that here they want to say, reading about Toni Morrison offends them. Fool walking past your Confederate statues every damn day offends me.
Right.
Growing up in Mississippi under the Confederate flag that's embedded in the state flag offended me every day of my natural black life.
Right.
But you didn't seem to care about that.
Right.
Every single day. This is why we have to have that scholarship of our history, so that Draymond don't sit there and make an ass of himself. Morgan Freeman don't get on there and not sound like the voice of God that we're used to, but instead sound like a damn demon.
Right.
We don't need that.
Right. We don't.
We need the scholarship inside of our experience so that we could be a part of it. The same way, Doc.
Yes.
Right now, there's conversations going on around reparations.
Yes.
Right. I think y'all got some going down there on the West Coast.
Thanks.
Folks talking about reparations.
Thanks to Dr. Shirley Nash Weber, Secretary of State for the great state of California, who is a personal friend of mine, mentor and professor out of San Diego State University. Yes, shout out to Dr. Shirley Nash Weber, sister.
Okay, well, Dr. T, can you please tell me
yes.
on what basis is Dr. Nash recommending reparations?
On what basis?
Yes.
40
yes.
acres and a mule.
Okay. Good. Now, let me say this to you. 40 acres and a mule, in and of itself, most people may not understand 40 acres and a mule, but in and of itself, now let me put even more ammunition behind 40 acres and a mule.
Give it
to
me,
Doc. And I hope that you can talk to Dr. Nash and remind her of this, because I'm sure she knows.
I'm going to take notes, Doc.
Okay, get your pencil out.
I got you.
So for those who don't know, what happened is, so during the Civil War again, when Sherman is on his march to the sea, Sherman is burning down everything in his path. And then he burns these plantations down, he burns Atlanta to the damn ground, right?
Right.
So Sherman is saying to us, black folks, hey, just stay on the plantation. You're slowing me down. And you got to remember, the only way that black folks were freed as a result of the Emancipation Proclamation was war. It ain't like white folks in the South said, oh, well, Lincoln said that, we're going to let you go. No.
No, because it took 2 years later.
No. That's all bullshit, too.
After the Emancipation Proclamation.
No, but I'll tell you about that later.
Okay.
But anyway, as Sherman is going, we smart enough to know, follow the force that's freeing us. So we all join forces with Sherman. So when Sherman gets to Savannah, he meets with the black leadership of Savannah, and he says to them plainly, do you want your own land or do you want to live amongst these people? And we're like, come on, Sherman, we want our own land. So Sherman issued what is known as Special Field Order Number 15. And Special Field Order Number 15 says the following. It says that the islands from Charleston, from the abandoned rice field, 30 miles back from the sea, and the country bordering the St. John River all the way down in Florida. This land is set aside for the exclusive settlements of blacks now made free by the president and his proclamation. Each family is to get 40 acres of tillable land in a government-issued mule. Now, when he issued Special Field Order Number 15, Sherman was not out there acting on his own accord, acting like an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Out there with Sherman was Lincoln's Secretary of War, a man named Edward Stanton. So it ain't like Sherman was just being a renegade. Stanton was there. Now, furthermore, if you want to know about Sherman, Sherman was one of the most racist mofos you can imagine. Mm-hmm. Sherman was like, look, let me make sure you understand something. He said this to Lincoln, to the president. Sherman said, look, ain't no, and he used to use the N-word like better than any black person I ever had, ever knew. But Sherman would say, I ain't letting no ends in this, it served under me, and none of my generals, none of my commanding officers better bring no ends under my forces.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how racist he was. But nonetheless, Sherman was a devout patriot, as far as it comes to following the will of the president.
Okay.
So Sherman issued Special Field Order Number 15. Special Field Order Number 15 went up to the Congress as Senate Bill Number 60. Lyman Turnbull of Illinois gets it going. So now Charles Sumner, the senator from Massachusetts, he helps get it through the Senate. Thaddeus Stevens from Pennsylvania helps get it through the House. So the bill has gotten through the Senate. It's gotten through the House to give us 40 acres and a mule. The only thing it needs is the president's signature. But on April 14th, 1865, Lincoln is in Ford's Theater. John Wilkes Booth walks up behind him, shoots him in the head. This is Lincoln's second term as president. Andrew Johnson becomes president, and Andrew Johnson vetoes Senate Bill Number 60. Then they began to confiscate all the land that was doled out to black folks. They began to pardon all the ex-Confederates. Now remember this. When they led when the South broke away from the Union, remember what the oath said. I swear to uphold the Constitution and protect it from enemies, both foreign and domestic.
Yeah.
You don't get to be no bigger traitor than when you declare war on the United States.
Right.
And that's what these Southerners did.
Right.
But as white folks would do to white folks, they're very look at this January 6th debacle that just happened.
Right.
Everybody knows what that would have been like if it would have been black folks.
Oh, Lord. Would have been a bomb.
But when white folks are dealing with white folks, as mad as they might be, they have compassion within each other to deal with that. But let that have been a Black Lives Matter movement breaking into the Capitol, we would still be drying up blood.
Yeah.
And I know you know what I'm saying. So
absolutely,
all of that But here's the thing that I want people to know.
Okay.
You were pleased. You would be very pleased if you got your 40 acres with you, Doc.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interest.
And most of us would be. Most of us would. But now, let me compare this. I want you to, Doc, if you were to look up the 1862 Homestead Act,
mm-hmm.
and this act was passed, I believe, on March, and a lot of this I'm trying to come from memory. But the 1862 Homestead Act was passed in March of 1862. Okay. Lincoln passed this law. And you know what this law did?
What did it do? This
law gave to every white immigrant, I don't give a damn, even if you were not a citizen of the United States.
Okay.
This law gave away 160 acres to every white family that applied. And this law, the 1862 Homestead Act, it gave away over 270 million acres of land. So here we are, wishing like hell we could just get 40 acres and a mule, when white families were getting 4 times that amount, 160 acres of land. And trust and believe me when I tell you, they got it. They got it.
And all we want is 40.
All you wanted was 40. Now, but this is what I want for folks to understand.
All right.
I want you to understand this. I want you to just slow down for a minute.
Okay.
Now, I didn't tell you what day slavery ended. So since I put that out there, let me go ahead and close that up. Slavery ended on December 6th, 1865.
Right.
That's when Georgia became the 27th state to ratify the proposal to end slavery.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other reason why your history is important, this is why I find Juneteenth to be quite insulting to us as Black folks. Because you just said they got the information 2.5 years late. Well, let me tell you why that doesn't make any sense, Doc. Let me just explain to you very quickly. These 11 states seceded from the Union, correct?
Yes.
Okay. We now know that they had a vice president named Alexander Stephens, correct?
Mm-hmm.
They also had a president by the name of Jefferson Davis. They had a Congress. They wrote a constitution. So these 11 states viewed themselves as their own nation. Does that make sense to you?
Okay, I'm following.
Does that make sense to you?
Oh, yes.
They got a president, they got a vice president, they got a Congress, and they just wrote a constitution. So does that make sense that they are acting as a nation?
Yes.
Okay, then if they did this in 1861, when Lincoln signed the Emancipation on January 1st, 1863, telling them what to do, Doc, that's like you and I married. We've been divorced for 2 years, but I'm telling you, you need to pay me child support and pay me rent. You like, look, fool, we ain't married no more. I ain't responsible for nothing with you. That is the way the Southern states looked at America. That's like Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, trying to tell the American citizens what to do. We like, man, go on with that nonsense. You ain't got no jurisdiction over us.
Right.
That is the way the new nation. So when we start playing this sad song, oh, they got the word 2.5 years late. Okay, let's assume you got the word that day. What were you going to do? Go up to the slave master and say, hey, I'm free. Lincoln said I'm free. Well, we fighting a war. Walk your black ass. Try to walk your black ass up off this plantation. I'll show you how free you are.
Right.
That's what would have happened, which is why we had to wait for Sherman to come down with the forces. That's how we were being free.
Right.
But see, Doc, this is so simple to me. And if you sat down, and if any of us sat down and studied it, it would make sense to us. But because we don't know our history, now we allow people to tell us these myths about our history. Well, the reason why Juneteenth should be a national holiday is because they kept the word from them for 2.5 years. Man, come on. Well, no, now we done understood why that doesn't make sense. Number 2, they said, well, these were the last Black folks enslaved. The Civil War is over. They're the last Black people enslaved. Well, Doc, if you go back and you study our history, all I need you to do is remember this. There were 5 borders. Well, it started off as 4 border states, but there became 5 border states. But I'm not going to get into the details of it. It's a simple question. Two of the border states were Kentucky and Delaware. Kentucky and Delaware did not abolish slavery. They didn't get rid of slavery until December 6, 1865, when Georgia became the 27th of 36 states to ratify it. The reason I'm telling you that is because on June 20th, a day after Juneteenth, there were 225,000 of our ancestors still enslaved. Mm-hmm. So when America turned around, when Kamala Harris got up there, when everybody got up there and said, we are commemorating the end of America's original sin. No. See, this ain't like Christmas where you don't know when little baby Jesus was born. You don't know when he was born. So they arbitrarily just give you a day. You know when slavery ended in this country.
Right.
At least those of us who have studied it knows.
Right.
But for those without scholarship, let's just take it.
Right.
Now, I'm going to tell you this, Doc. What is your birthday, baby? Tell me again.
September 23rd.
Okay. Can I celebrate your birthday? Now, if I want to make your life a national holiday, can I make it September 22nd? Can I make it August 22nd? No. You want September 23rd. That's what you want.
And 2 months
See,
after.
you're not gonna go tell America. You're not gonna go tell America we're gonna celebrate your independence on July 3rd.
Right.
America ain't gonna hear that shit.
No.
And if you married, brothers, go in there a day before your anniversary. Oh, baby, happy anniversary. She that's better than being late.
Sure enough.
She's still looking at you kind of cockeyed. You know what I'm saying?
So
it's important to get it right. It's important to get it right.
It is.
Go ahead.
It is. And that's what angers me. And I know that it's more than just Ron DeSantis down in Florida.
Believe that.
And it angers me because how should he even be allowed to bring this up? Why is this even a conversation or allowed to even be a topic? Who has the right to water down, to lessen, to take away, to make a decision that our history cannot be taught, should not be taught, because it angers, when this is something that actually happened and took place? And then,
okay, so Doc, go ahead.
I'm sorry, you know me, I get a little riled up.
No, go ahead, baby. Go ahead.
And then I can't really be quoted, but I could paraphrase a little bit. I was looking on YouTube, and there was a sister on there, and she was angry because not only were they taking our history out of books, but they were lying about the history. And I think it was something to the tune as to how we were brought over to America. I forget the specifics, but it's just why are you laughing, Dr. Mack? Why are you laughing?
Because I'm gonna tell you why I'm laughing.
Okay.
Because the answer is this. Number one, see, you heard the cliche, the pen is mightier than the sword.
Absolutely.
See, what we need to see, without history, it's impossible for us as Black folks to think critically. It is. I don't give a shit what you do. You can sit around here and think you smart if you want to. But history, without that history, you cannot think critically. Now, this is what I want you to understand. There was a time when America kept us in line with violence. And because of the onset of the civil rights movement, how effective it became, she realized she couldn't be out there on public TV putting up dogs and hoses on little Black children and beating old Black men and Black women side to head as they're trying to walk across the bridge. It just don't look good. So she realized she needed to stop that. Mm-hmm. She needed a new weapon. Her new weapon became politics. Mm-hmm. That's the new weapon. So what did Trump do when Trump became president? He said, look, the rest of them playing checkers. They think we happy because we won the election. No. Trump started appointing all these judges. And even though Trump ain't in there no more, his judges are still there.
Right.
And now they're empowered to do what they want to do.
Right.
And because we seem to ignore our history, here's the question. How many Black folks Tell me the Black contingent that you've seen put together a movement to challenge DeSantis. Where have our Black lawyers? The moment that they instituted affirmative action, white folks were suing to stop it.
Right.
Where's the Black legal mind to sue DeSantis? Where's the Black scholarship to challenge what they're trying to say about our history? It's quiet as church mouse. You can hear a mouse piss on cotton, which is why I want to go out and I want to talk. I want to just sit down and have Black history talks just like you and I are having. I want to have them in churches. And I'm not trying to get there on a Sunday or a Wednesday. I'll take any day of the week. I don't want to get paid. I don't want none of that. I mean, if you can help me to get to California or wherever church you want to, all you got to do is have somebody to say, he can sleep on the couch. That'll be fine. Make me a couple of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I'll be fine. And then I want to sit down and I want to talk to our people about our history. I want us to start thinking critically, to get inside of it. It is a beautiful, beautiful history.
Yes.
You know, Doc, I told you I'm doing some history right now and I'm into the science.
Yes.
Let me just tell you just a couple of little fun facts to just kind of lighten this up a little bit.
Okay.
I want you to Google a sister named Clarice Phelps. I think that's her first name, Clarice Phelps. You know what this sister did?
Phelps.
That's right, Phelps. Phelps. I think it's Clarice Phelps.
Okay.
You know what that sister did? And she did this on April 5th, 2010. Oh. She was part of a team that discovered a new element to the periodic table in chemistry.
Wow.
It was element number 117.
Wow.
Now, I haven't done all of this. I literally just came across this today, right? See, now, of all the people that's ever walked the planet, if you look at the periodic chart, what do we got? Like 117, 118 elements. That's it. And she's the first Black woman to ever find one.
Amazing.
Just some amazing shit. Now,
wow, way to go, Miss Clarice.
Here's another one. And I think her first name is Clarice. But I know her last name is Phelps, so I apologize for that.
No, that's correct. It is. It's Clarice Phelps, Miss Clarice Phelps.
Okay, good. So then here's another one. Let's take how many Grammys do you think Diana Ross has won?
Grammys?
Grammys.
I don't know why 38 popped in my head. I'm gonna say.
Okay. That's a fair number.
Okay.
But when we go and look at all of the outstanding hits that Diana Ross had, Diana Ross has never won a Grammy ever.
What?
Look it up right now. Look it up. I want you to Google it right now. How many Grammys has Diana Ross won?
Is that a Grammy?
What's that? No. I ain't talking about no Lifetime Achievement Grammy. They gave you that one.
Okay. Google. We're looking.
Google the question.
Nick is Googling.
There you go. Look it up, Nick. I like Nick. Nick's a bad man.
He sure is. Wait till you meet him in person. 0.
Wait. No.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
2.
No, she ain't won that. You was right. 0.
2.
No, she ain't won 2. She ain't won 2.
He said,
no. They may have gave her 2. She ain't won 2. Asking for what song? For what song?
For what song? It doesn't say.
I know it doesn't say. She won. Now,
she should.
Now, while you busy playing with that little thing,
she should have won for "Touch Me in the Morning." That's a beautiful.
She should have won for a whole bunch of songs.
That's definitely.
She should have won the moment she walked on stage. That was Diana Ross. That's the boss. Okay, but anyway, but now here's this thing. A Black woman. Now, do you think it's fascinating? A Black woman would be named head of a medical department.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, do you know in this country, there has never, ever been a woman, the first woman that was named head of a math department. I cannot remember. I'm struggling with her name right now. Hang on a second. It's going to come to me. I'm getting so damn old. Okay, but let me tell you who she is. Let me tell you who she is. I want you to look up Ross Lee. Ross Lee. That's Diana Ross's sister. So Diana Ross's sister, first of all, her sister is a doctor. And
I think I knew that.
I had no clue about this. First, I didn't know her sister was a doctor, number one. And I damn sure didn't know that her sister is the first Black woman to ever be named head of a medical school.
Wow.
Never knew it.
Wow.
So those are some things. Now, here's another thing. Here's another funny. Now, right now, down here in D.C., the big deal in D.C. right now is the Cherry Blossom Festival.
Oh,
right?
My. Beautiful. Oh, I wish I could come.
Okay. Beautiful. Let me make it even more beautiful. Them damn cherry blossoms was about to die out. They were finna be gone. Right? See, the cherry blossom started under the Taft administration, where Japan gave First Lady Taft some, and then they kept giving them. Next thing you know, the damn thing got diseased out. But there was this Black man from D.C. who was the first Black to be part of the Arboretum here. And so he gets in there, and he's studying.
So beautiful.
Next thing you know, he comes up. His name is Roland Jefferson. Look up Roland Jefferson. Jefferson he's working with these trees. Now he's working with folks in Japan. And he creates a strand of apple blossoms that are now strong enough. They even sent some to Minnesota. And Japan, even in Japan, where we got the trees from, their trees became sick and was dying off. And on February 24th, I believe it was 1981, First Lady Nancy Reagan gave the Japanese people a cherry tree from the Black man to save their cherry trees. I just want you to know them cherries are even more beautiful now.
Is that an excerpt from your calendar?
Say it again.
Is that an excerpt from your upcoming calendar?
Yeah. I ain't putting none of that out. I told you, I just discovered these today, so I might be a little off on my facts. I just looked at it. I ain't wrote about it. I was just sitting there reading them. I'm formulating some things right now, trying to put it together. But it's a lot of things. Now, I will tell you this. Here's another thing. When it comes to the NFL in your area, most people think that the athlete that integrated professional sports in the modern era was Jackie Robinson. Au contraire. See, at that school that y'all got down there called, I think it's UCLA. Mm-hmm. At that school, there were three, because Jackie Robinson went to UCLA, right?
I don't know.
See, you ought to know, Doc. That's your hometown. That's where you hang out. You're supposed to know. So Jackie Robinson, I believe, went to UCLA. And so Jackie Robinson played football and baseball. But there's two other guys that played. A guy named Woody Strode, who ultimately became an actor, and a guy named Kenny Washington. Now, Kenny Washington was the best of the three athletes. As a matter of fact, Kenny Washington was voted College Player of the Year. Mm. But when he graduated in 1940 and played in the College All-Star game, they would not draft him. Nobody from the NFL would draft him. Now, why wouldn't they draft him? Because the NFL had a gentleman's agreement that they weren't going to bring no Blacks in the league. They started that in 1933. So in 1945, the Cleveland Rams came to Los Angeles, and they wanted to play in your newly built state-of-the-art Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum,
baby. Still there.
That's where they wanted to play. So they had a whole big presentation, and in the audience was a Black man named Haley Harden. And so when the Rams and the commission, when they finished their little back and forth with each other, Haley Harden took to the floor, eloquent. He stood up like a beautiful Black stallion. And Harden said to him, now, before you all think that you're going to make a decision on whether or not the Cleveland Rams will become the LA Rams, I want to remind you of something. So he told them about the history of the NFL that started in 1920. He told them about all the black players that played in the NFL from 1920 to 1933. Then he reminded the NFL of how they ran every black out with their so-called gentleman's agreement. He says, and now you come to our city, want to play in our glorious LA Memorial Coliseum that was built with tax dollars from every race, hue, and nationality of citizens that's in Los Angeles, which means black folks, our tax dollars helped build that stadium. And now you think, Mr. Little Cleveland Rams, that you're going to roll up in here and we're going to let you play in our stadium when you're telling us we can't play for your team. Is that what you're saying? And the white man said, oh my God, I didn't know that history. I apologize. Hardin said, man, I don't want your apology. I want some results. And guess what the Rams did? The Rams signed Kenny Washington to an NFL contract, making him the first black to ever play in the modern era in any of the 4 major professional sports: football, baseball, basketball, or hockey. Wow. Kenny Washington right there in Los Angeles because of your city. Thank you, Doc. I want to say thank you to you. That's what I got to say. I'm done.
Thank you.
I'm not talking to you no more. I don't want you to call me no more. Don't talk to me no more. Okay?
You can't live without me.
Well, this is true, Doc. I apologize for you, but insinuating that I could.
So what can we, as a nation, if anything, do to help Florida deal with Ron DeSantis?
Don't worry about him. We got him. The question should be, what should we do now? Doc, I could tell you that there are so many things that I see clearer now because of history.
Right.
I would just employ our people to get inside of our history. And if you need a starting point, Doc, I promise you, if folks want me, I just feel like I'm on a call and that I want to talk, I want to teach. Now, I want to do my research. And Doc, you know me well enough that, I don't want to speak no more. Before this calling came to me, all I wanted to do was play golf every day. You know that.
18-hole Baptist.
I want to be 18-hole Baptist. That's where I hang out. And I have to deal with little baby Jesus. And I hate playing with him, Doc, because when I do, he cheats. Now, you can say what you want to about Jesus, but I'm going to tell you this. He does cheat.
Little baby Jesus cheats.
All of a sudden, no, let me tell you how he cheats. We play it, and there's water on a hole, right? How come if he hooks his ball skips or walks on water, my ball goes in the water? He looks at me. I say, it ain't right. That's the way he cheats. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of him. Tell me, well, that's just how it goes. No, that ain't just how it goes. That's what you do, little man.
You know what?
So
I can't.
I got to talk. I am. I'm gonna talk to Big Jesus about him, but the little baby, he's a little tough on him. But anyway, that's what I like to do. But now I feel this calling. I feel like little baby Jesus put this calling on me to say, Carl, you know the history. Let's go out and talk about it. So, I done said to anybody, financially, I'm fine. I'm not doing it for money. I just need our people to understand our culture, our history. That's all.
Yeah.
Just you got to start reading it. The days of ignoring it, they cost us every day. We need to be able to have a critical conversation about the issue of reparations. We need to have a critical conversation about the fact that our children don't know who they are. We don't know who we are. That's an embarrassment. Like I said, I can put 1,000 folks in front of me and say, okay, we can all agree that slavery was a part of it, but tell me what day did slavery ended. 1,000 people? Shit, most people wouldn't get that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm real confident about that.
Right.
Same thing with Dr. King. We've allowed America to weaponize Dr. King and reduce him to one speech and one phrase. I have a dream that one day my 4 little children gonna live in a nation. Blah, 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 blah. But if I ask most people to name me 3 other speeches written by Dr. King and give a critical analysis of them, most of us cannot do it. We cannot do it.
Right.
But then we always talk about, well, our history is more than Dr. King. Well, shit, if it's more than Dr. King, it would appear to me that you know everything there is to know about Dr. King, when in fact you don't know a damn thing about it.
Right.
That's, I'm just saying, Doc.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Education is often the key.
I don't want to be right. I don't want to be right. I want us to be informed. That's all.
Sure, sure. Well, if you put it in a book, but if you're willing to go read the book to the people, anybody listening out there, huh?
Let's sit down. Let's sit down. Uncle Carl is want to read you a bedtime story, baby.
So Dr. Carl Mack is indeed offering his services for free, gratis, free. I'll have to ask Elijah how to say it in Francois.
Say that then.
Francois. En español, la palabra es gratis. So Dr. Mack is offering his expertise in our history to talk to our people for free in an effort to educate us. And I do say us because I need a big dose of it.
Well,
There's so much.
We all are, and Doc, let me be clear. As much as I study our history, I'm a student of it. I ain't proclaiming to know. Somebody, hey, you got that wrong. Okay, fam, just help me, teach me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, even with Morgan Freeman and Draymond, I'm hurt by what they did. I ain't mad at them.
Mm-hmm.
I love the brothers.
Mm-hmm.
But so we just got it. We're all students in this game, and if I feel like I got something to offer cool in the game, I'm hoping that right now, churches are lining up and the invitations are coming in, and I told them if I get 1,000 invitations for 1,000 straight days, that's what I'm gonna do.
Right.
So we'll see.
Right.
I just when it's all said and done, I don't want to look back and say, man, I wish I had done this. That's the worst thing you could do is when you could have, you didn't. Now that you want to, you can't.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. If only you had. So reach out to me or reach out to Dr. Carl Mack directly on social media.
You be my agent, Doc. You be my agent on the West Coast.
I got you. So contact me, Dr.
And
T.
Doc, if I come out to California, I don't need all that fancy food. Just a couple of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and we good.
He also likes grits and eggs.
Believe that.
Ham and cheese.
Nah.
Mama Rose gonna track you down and send you a honey baked meal.
Well, she gonna do what she do. I'm her baby now. Let's not forget that. I'm her baby.
But a very modest gentleman. But I appreciate you. I appreciate your wisdom and your time and always your willingness to educate us.
Doc, I appreciate you allowing us to use your platform to talk about.
And you can talk about anything you want, Dr. Mack.
No, I'm cool in the gang. I'm done. As a matter of fact, I'm hungry. I'm get in here and get me something to eat right now, if you don't mind.
What you eating? As if I can taste it.
Right. I got some. I'm thinking about. I'm not far off of. I'm looking at a real nice salad down there. It's a chopped salad. Just something simple.
Okay.
Because it's gonna be a long night. I got some more research to do tonight.
I love researching. But now I have an extra pair of eyes, so it's not so much fun.
There you go.
But all right, so thank you so much. I'm gonna let you go so you can feed yourself and keep yourself nice and strong.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you, Doc. I appreciate you. So for my listeners and viewers out there, if you guys want someone who is very learned, intelligent brother that's gonna change your world by giving you perhaps what you've missed or maybe what you have forgotten to get you in touch with realities about yourself, especially if you are a Black person living in this country, some realities and hard truths to be able to answer some questions perhaps that you might have about yourself, your ancestors, your culture. It's okay if you don't know, but it's not okay to be shaken, maybe not all the way awakened, but to have some light insight or a little bit of knowledge and to not further explore it. All right. So don't forget, we were not totally free until December 6th. Is that what he said? 1865.
So December 6th, 1865. You get an A for that, dog.
You still there? Hey, he gave me an A, y'all. Hey. So that is important to know. And he also stated that here in the state of California, that reparations that you hear us refer to as 40 acres and a mule, there is actually some real movement on that. So we know that we had incidents at, what beach was that? Was that Redondo Beach or Hermosa Beach, where a large part of the land belonged to a Black family that they were entitled to?
They sold it, yeah.
And they ended up selling it. I don't know how much. What did it sell for?
Like 20, 40 million, something.
20 or 40 million. That was their 40 acres and a mule. So it's happening. You know, these are real things that are happening. So make sure, Black people, that you are gearing yourself up, so that when it's time for you to receive, one of the things we don't think about oftentimes are our generations to come, generational wealth, and things like that. Making sure that our children and children to come are in better situations than what they are. Our children have to be able to compete in terms of education, which is one of the most important things to me. My grandmother just passed away 2 days ago. So now she is an ancestor. And just being able to draw off of her wisdom and her greatness, is what propels me through, because I actually got to live in her glory. So that's what made me and makes me the woman that I am, is to be able to have that. So not everyone has that. So that is the importance too of understanding that we truly come from kings and queens, and being able to connect with that, because genetically our DNA, it's already encrypted in who we are. You can't run from it. So the only thing, or the best thing to be able to do, is to embrace it and to live in your truth. Never should you be down on your knees begging or not have. All right. So if you're living like that, you're not living in your truth. And there's somewhere along the path that you missed it. And guess what? You're able to tap back into it. Got to have faith and belief. Get up and do some work. Faith without work is what, Nick?
Dead.
It's dead. So do the work. Be willing to get the knowledge.
Really quick, Doc.
Yes, please.
Can I just explain what that actually means?
Please, of course, Nick.
Because I feel like Black people take sayings out the Bible all the time.
Okay.
And we just use them how we want to use them.
Yes.
Faith without works is dead. Okay, what that means is, if you actually believe in something, you're going to work at it because you believe it's possible to achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve.
Amen.
It doesn't mean, which most people interpret it as, sit around and wait for something to happen and have faith that it's going to happen, right? It's saying, like, if Michael Jordan believes he's the greatest basketball player to ever live, right, he's not going to sit at home and think this. He's going to go to the gym and work out. And then when the game comes, he's going to shoot the last shot. He's going to take the risk because he actually believes. He actually has faith that what he thinks is possible.
Absolutely.
So the proof of your faith is the work that you put in.
Absolutely.
It's nothing else. So that you're going to be judged off the actual labor you put in to demonstrate your actual faith.
Yes.
So we got to put the legwork in. Like my brother was saying earlier, we all got to get up and do something. Lay your brick,
Yeah.
Put your brick in.
Yeah. And it's yours if you want it. I mean, for me, I serve a God with no limitations. I never heard him say, there's a limit. People say the sky's the limit. I always say this. Nope. It's really not.
That's not true.
It's not. Beyond the skies. Yeah. God never said you only can touch the sky. Guess what? Astronauts have already done that. They've gone beyond the sky. That's how you know the sky's not the limit. So don't set limitations upon yourself. Soar as high as you can go. Don't forget the people who deserve to be with you on your journey. All right? So stay blessed. Be blessed. This show is dedicated to my lovely grandmother who taught me so much. I love you guys. Thank you for your support. And I will see you again next Thursday if God says the same.